Hello, my name is Austin Smith, and today I will be talking about my EP called Speck. So, before I get into the EP, I'll give you a quick introduction to myself and who I am. My name is Austin Smith. I grew up in the Louisville area, and I just graduated from University of Louisville School of Music in the last year, and one of my greatest passions is adventuring and anything in the outdoors, mostly backpacking though. Most of my formative experiences that have shaped my personality and my faith and my goals in life have all come from backpacking, being in nature and in mountains, and challenging myself mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually through those experiences. That's where I've found the most growth. So with all of that being said, I'm a music student, I'm an artist, and I haven't really started writing music until my senior year of college, mostly because of fear. I had always wanted to write music, but I decided, I'll wait until I have enough theory knowledge, or until I have enough piano skills, or until I learn how to play the guitar, which I'm not good at playing guitar, I'm not proficient at it, or until I take my audio engineering classes and things like that. And I would consider myself an expert at being not great at things. So there are many things that I do in life that I'm not good at, and it's humbling. And then I've kind of fallen in love with being a beginner at stuff. So I try lots of new hobbies and new things, and the more I dive into a world and I think I'm doing great at something, once I get into that community and I look around, I realize everywhere I go I'm a small fish in a big pond, which is a comforting thing because so is everybody else. I was very inspired by this book called Make to Know by Lauren Buchman that kind of debunks the myth of the genius. And he basically says, when you get a genius, it's just somebody who did the thing a bunch of times. You don't have to wait for inspiration to come to you. You just start doing the thing, do it badly for a long time, and then eventually you'll get good enough to get recognized. So I've kind of started to move away from the fear of judgment from other people and the fear of waiting until I'm good enough at something. So I have some baseline level of knowledge, and then I took those concepts from Lauren Buchman's book called Make to Know, and I started practicing improvising on the piano every day. I would use my theory knowledge and play chords and dance around different progressions and see what different emotions I can come up with through simple chord progressions. And every day I would do that. 95% of the time it's just noodling around on the piano and nothing comes from it, but it's kind of exercising that muscle. So then whenever I do have an idea, I can sit down at the piano and I can harmonize lyrics pretty quickly because I've been doing something similar every day for a long time now. So I highly recommend just practicing improvising without trying to make it sound good, but just letting it come from the subconscious as much as possible. And that's where a lot of creative ideas will connect. So that's the process I used to write these songs in this EP. It's 3 songs. One is about love, one is about death, and one is about thankfulness. They're called Speck, The Man in the Dark Gray Robe, and Wildest Dreams. I wrote the first 2, and one of my best friends, Zach, wrote the third one and told me to put it on the EP, told me I can't put it on the EP. So he played the guitar on that, and then I sang. On the second song, Man in the Dark Gray Robe, my friend Braden played the guitar, and he kind of wrote the guitar part out of a piano part that I had made. So I wrote it improvising on piano, showed it to him. I was like, I'm hearing this in guitar. We played around back and forth in conversation and found a guitar pattern that fit really well and was similar to the piano pattern. And then the guitar solo near the end was done by my friend Dawson. Most of it was recorded in Braden's studio, and then the background vocals and Dawson's solo was recorded here in my room. And the way we did that was I told him my idea and the inspiration, kind of reference pieces for that idea. The single line to the midpoint, and then 3 or 4 good lines that crunch but also are emotional for the explosion. Then
you would have overlapping parts as well.
Yeah, specifically right here.
Okay, yeah.
think having something wail up high before this, and we just loop recorded 18 takes of the guitar solo, and then I split the guitar solo up into like 7 sections, and I put checks where I wanted to use those takes, so that way I could go through each track and piece it together more easily. This worked really well, and I think it was very effective musically. And the first song is called Speck. The bass part was recorded by a Berkeley student who is a friend of mine from high school. The guitar track was recorded by a University of Louisville alumni who is a friend of mine, and the vocals were recorded at Braden's in Indiana. So it all kind of pieced together, recorded in many different places and with many different people. And the way that I achieved this collaboration was I reached out to 12 people who I had had meaningful conversations about art and music with, who I think would understand, if I sent a demo in, and they would pick it up and know what I'm trying to convey. Friends from all different areas of my life. And so now I have this Discord with collaborators that we share demos with one another, and we share ideas, and they helped me with the mastering process and the mixing process. Some of them made changes to the music. They would recommend, a different key for one of the songs, and then I would try it and be like, wow, this is amazing. Or add in a major 7 chord, like in Speck, in the guitar part. That's not what I played on piano, but he went with it, and I was like, dude, that's awesome. So the collaboration aspect of it has helped a lot, because their understanding of my ideas, I believe it's additive to the impact of it, because it's now expanding beyond just my perception. So my perception and my expression is still the core of the piece, but definitely filtering it through other people's minds, I think, has expanded it a little bit. Some people would argue that takes away from the genuine aspect of the art, but I think in this instance it's really helped, because the people I've chosen understand what I'm trying to convey and are great musicians. And yeah, that's been super humbling and exciting. I'm very thankful for that group of 12 people. And I'm excited to do more with them. So, yeah, the writing aspect is mostly influenced by daily improvisation, and the lyrics will come out of different conversations and concepts and ideas. And then whenever I have the lyrics, I write them down on legal pads, and then I sit at the piano and I improvise until a song comes out. So I gave myself a really difficult deadline and put this whole thing together, recording, mixing, and mastering in under a month. So it's not perfect, but I decided, if I wait for it to be perfect, I'm never going to put it out. So it's what I can do right now with what I have. It's a starting point. And listening back, I'm actually really happy with it. For my first thing, I'm excited to grow from here. And if you enjoy it, if you enjoy this EP, please share it with people, because I'm so new, so fresh, don't really have any listening base, I don't have any following of any kind. So if you feel encouraged, or if you find hope in any of the lyrics or any of the messages or any of the art behind the music, please share it with people wherever you can. I really would personally appreciate that. And also going to take a moment to announce a bigger thing. So this is the precursor to a larger project called the PCT project, which is still incorporating those 12 core collaborators. But this year, I will be crowdfunding and doing a multiple album project where I will thru hike the Pacific Crest Trail and capture my experience and write music and poetry and record while I'm out there on the trail. For those of you who don't know what the Pacific Crest Trail is, it's one of the 3 long-distance hiking trails in America. It's 2,650 miles, and it goes from the southern border of California, it goes through California, through Oregon and Washington, and up to the Canadian border. So that will take me about 5 months of hiking to do. I'll be bringing my backpack, maybe my ukulele or another instrument, and a Zoom recorder and a camera. and I will basically be collecting little bits of art, and then my collaborators, as well as the community I'm trying to build, will come together and create an album. Not unlike this EP that I'm making now, it'll just be more influenced by my actual experiences on the trail. And then whenever I get back, we'll finalize mixing it, probably starting mid to late August whenever I get back. So if you would like to be a part of that, all patrons on my Patreon are invited to be a part of that Discord group, and you can be one of the larger scale collaborators, so you can have behind the scenes access to video diaries, voice calls, and video calls with the collaborators group, as well as I'll send my ideas in and demos, and you can send in demos. And if you actually want to be a musician, a part of this, if all patrons are invited to be a part of this in some way. So you can find the Patreon in my link on my Instagram, or if you don't want to be a patron, you don't want to necessarily be a musician within this, I'm also launching an Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign on February 19th, and if you would like to support me through that, I appreciate it. If you'd still like to help me but you don't want to contribute, it would also mean a lot to me if you could just share this video or share any of the announcement videos on social media platforms. I won't be able to do this without the help of the local community, so I appreciate everything, and I really hope that you find some hope, peace, and encouragement from this EP. So thank you all very much.